You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Glenn DeGeek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, March 19th, episode 3650, brought to you by State Line Tack and Poseidon Animal Health. Good morning, horse people.
Hello, horse world. It's Wednesday, the day you start daydreaming of a weekend with your horses. We'll help you get there with more silly horse talk on Horses in the Morning.
That's right. It is Wednesday, and we have a good show planned for you today. We're going to continue with our Breeds of the Alphabet segment, which apparently Jamie's very excited about, with the Exmoor Pony. And we're going to talk to Dr. Janice Holland and answer some listener questions on horse health. Plus, we have some weird news. Plus, as a bonus, everybody today is going to get the post show. So if you listen to the regular show and hear the music at the end, keep listening because we're going to give you the Auditor Post Show for free, no charge today. And part of the reason I'm doing that is Auditor Shelby is going to be on to talk about her amazing story of her first and second pony as a kid. And Jamie, I don't think we've ever seen a story like this before.
I am so mad for her. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I remember reading this and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm excited to hear her tell it and let me retort.
The second pony story is just one I went, oh my God, I've never seen that before. All right. And so I started my day off spilling my complete bowl of cereal all over the place before I even had a chance to take a bite of it this morning. And when the day starts like that, you go, oh, this is going to be a great day. And then I've been dropping everything since. So it's been
You're a hot mess. Like I have heard a lot of crashing going on your side of the world.
I played the music accidentally. It's been one of those days. On a good news, Jennifer's rode in her new saddle and she loves it. So apparently it's approved. The horse liked it. She liked it. All's good with the new saddle. So she is now officially riding in a Western saddle.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Which I didn't think would ever happen in my lifetime, but apparently it is. We have a couple auditor birthdays for you today. Michelle Atkins and Kim Trask. Happy birthday to both of you. And also to the host of the Dressage Radio Show, Megan McIsaac. Happy birthday, Megan. We hope that you're doing well.
I'm going to steal from Ashley when she does her daily buck-offs because this is more like
for that.
Yeah, this is more like a public service announcement that I'm going to make to those of you who send me horses that are for sale that I 100% do not need to see. Okay, for those of you, that one of you in particular who keeps sending me horses on the daily that you find on Facebook that probably you want, but you can't do it yourself. So you send it to me hoping that I'll want it. I don't need a 4-year-old untouched thoroughbred stud colt. Okay. It's just not going to happen ever. Like, again, I appreciate you thinking of me. I do. I really do.
Apparently you've become the savior of all horses.
Well, I have 2 horses that are in training here. Oh, bless them. So they came in and the owner, it's a long story, but circumstances forced her to make some changes. And so the horses came to me for some gentler handling and they got here and it's 2-year-olds and they are quite feral. Not only that, they were beat up at their first trainer. So they're feral, kind of like beat up horses. And I'm really excited to accept that challenge. Nothing like dealing with feral 2-year-old thoroughbreds about 6 weeks after shoulder surgery. It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Are they big?
They're 2, but yeah, they're giant horses. Yeah. I currently have catch ropes on them, and we're working on touching. So there's that. At least they like each other. You can do if you do one thing, the other one follows.
And I'm sure you'll be riding them in three days. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
sure. I'm touching them first. It's never good when somebody pulls up their trailer and they back up and just open the doors. So like, let them out. I was like, oh.
We don't want to know how they got him in the trailer.
Nope.
No.
Didn't ask. I just said, okay, well, and the owners are absolutely wonderful and are like, do whatever you need to do, and we're going to pay you extra, and we understand this is a mess, but we really appreciate everything that you're doing, and do whatever you need to do, and just take your time and don't get hurt. That's what she told me. Lovely.
Yeah, we don't
humans.
need another surgery. You've had enough of those.
Yeah, lovely people. It's great. I mean, so Farm Boy's out of town. It's just me. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. The other really cool part of the day of my buck off is, remember how Friday we had like those crazy winds and like potential evacuation for fire danger and all that in Oklahoma, and like Oklahoma's on fire. Here's what's really fun is today is going to be worse. So that's super fun. Like, I'm really excited about that as well.
You guys are really getting back to like Dust Bowl days of the Depression in 1930s.
It's intense. I'm not going to lie.
The sand
this is
the dust storms come with it, right? I mean,
oh yeah, the dust storm is supposed to roll in sometime this morning, and it's again going to be one of those like major Dust Bowl events. And yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. I'm having such a good time this spring. It's so fun. Wow.
On a better note,
I am. Yay.
On a better note, Caldera, our racehorse, the one that from myracehorse.com that about 50 of our listeners and us own a piece of, is set to take on the Louisiana Derby on March 22nd. And that is a prep race for the Kentucky Derby. So we'll see how Caldera does. There'll be more about that announced, I think. They just announced that this is the one they're going to point Caldera towards. So we're excited about that. And then last weekend, you mentioned that your another horse you own a piece of was going out on its first race, and they were just hoping he'd get to the finish line. So
I will say that that's what they do a lot of voting on names, and I think people think it's hilarious to name horses like this, but it's not funny. His name is Improbable Luck. Improbable Luck.
They need to listen to our show because you know what we always say.
Yeah, I have another one called Money Problem. Okay. And I have it's all of the like kind of like tongue-in-cheek names. Let's see, what other one do I have here? Improbable Luck, Money Problem, and yeah, those are the two really appropriately funny one. So funny. But Improbable Luck went out and did his first race, and he's a big giant baby and does not at all know what he's doing, and he's had a few setbacks. So he, bless his heart, he got 5th place in his first race.
Out of 5.
It doesn't matter how many. Okay. It was a very fast race for his level. So they were saying that he got a 66 bear speed figure, and the winner received an 84, which would win like a lot of special weights and stuff. So he did fine. 6 furlongs. He won $838 in his race. It was just awesome. He's trained by Dwayne Lucas. Rafael Bejarano is his jockey, and it was great. It was great.
Hey, do you know what Caldera? Do you know that's actually a word and what it means?
I don't.
I looked it up this morning because I was like, how did they get that name? And I don't know how they got the name, but it is a large depression formed when a volcano erupts and collapses. So you see, after a volcano collapses, sometimes there's a lake in the crater. That's a caldera. I don't know what that means for a racehorse.
A collapsed lake, a collapsed volcano lake. That sounds really. Why can't anybody name one like Big Money Earner?
Yeah,
y'all gonna make it
Sam
rain.
the Man or something like that. You know, just simple. Hey, there's a new book out about Man of War. I know you love Man of War, and we're having the author on, so we're going to be talking Man of War soon.
Yay, I love it. That
All
sounds
right.
fun.
Well, as a horse owner, you know the joy of seeing your equine partner thrive, but travel competition and daily life can take a toll. That's why Poseidon Animal Health offers veterinarian formulated supplements to support your horse's well-being. Stress Paste, which Jamie will probably be using on the new horses, provides targeted support.
If I could touch their face, they totally would do it.
Yeah, she's going to have to shoot it with a dart. But Stress Face provides targeted support during times of acute stress, while Digestive HP is your daily gut health foundation. Well, that you can use, supporting the entire GI tract from stomach to hind gut. Trusted by vets and elite riders alike, Poseidon Animal Health puts your horse's health first. Discover the difference at PoseidonAnimalHealth.com. Well, it's time for one of these.
It's time for Breeds of the Alphabet. From Arabians to zebras, we take you on an adventure, highlighting a breed for every letter of the alphabet. Can we do it? Stay tuned in 2025 and find out.
Well, I think we're already at the E's, and today we're going to be talking to Amanda, who's going to talk to us about the Exmoor Pony. Well, good morning, Amanda. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Where are you located?
So I'm located in the Finger Lakes region of New York State.
Oh, that's a beautiful part of the state. I've been there. It's so beautiful up there. So we're going to talk about the Exmoor today as part of our Breeds of the Alphabet. And, you know, the Exmoor is one of those, it's from what I was doing the reading, it's like one of the oldest native breeds in England or maybe even the world. That, you know, they're finding fossils that look a lot like Exmoors.
Yes, it is. I have my little Exmoor laddie, but I recently went over to England and went to Exmoor, got to see the Exmoors out on the moor at Exmoor National Park, and went to the Exmoor Pony Center to learn even more about one of my favorite breeds.
Wow. So what did you learn? What stuck with you?
So I think one of the things that's so interesting is they are considered endangered. There used to be several hundred of them until World War II, when it actually went down to only about 50 ponies left on the moor. And so they've been working on bringing this breed back and having them, you know, they're doing a lot of breeding with them and trying to get this breed back. And now there's over 2,000 of them worldwide, and it was down to about 50 after World War II.
Wow. And let's talk the basics of them. About how tall do they end up?
So they average around 11.1 to about 12.3 hands.
Wow, these are little guys, aren't they?
So they are stocky and they are sturdy little ponies.
Is these the ones they used to use in the mines to pull the carts?
You know, I'm not sure about that.
Those are Shetlands that did that.
Were they? I knew that the Exmoors, they used them for other stuff way back when. Talk to us about the coat.
So they have some pretty unique markings. So all the Exmoors, they've got a lighter muzzle, almost a little bit like a donkey would. And then they also have that lighter coloring on their eyes. And then they tend to be like a darker brown color. And they get very, very furry in the winter. They actually, in England, they've got several herds that there's about 500 to 600 of them that just live out on the moors almost as they're all owned, but they are considered like partially wild herds. And they just live out there because they just can withstand the weather and everything like that.
I read something about a double coat. Is that because it's so thick?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are they used for today? What around the world?
Everything. So you see them pulling carts. There's a lot of breed shows in England. They are cute little jumpers, mostly English riding, those types. They don't have a lot of Western riding over in England, but I do English and side saddle on my Exmoor laddie.
You do side saddle on a little pony?
I do. He is so much fun, and he's got the best little canter. So side saddle at the canter with him is so much fun.
And you use him at the program for Healing Hearts too, right?
We do. So he is only used a little bit in the program just because I want to be able to have time with him. But he gets pulled in and he does therapy lessons. And he is so great with the kids on there, and he's a great height for that. A lot of our riders do have sidewalkers, so they're somebody on each side of him. They throw things off of him. They play all sorts of different games. My nephew rides him as well. He's 4.
Super helpful that he's so appropriately sized for that. I mean, that's gotta
really
be much easier. So I was just looking. It's funny that Exmoor was a breed today, so we're planning a trip to Scotland this summer. And one of the facilities that you can go riding is an Exmoor riding center, and it's like a breed conservation center in Scotland. And one of the things was what really important things was weight limits. And
yeah, I imagine.
Like, I'm not like big, but I was like, oh my God, I might have to lose weight to do it. So what do you think are appropriate weight limits for the Exmoor ponies?
I know like a lot of the ones I saw usually are around 150, 160 pounds typically tend to be the weight limit for them, but they are stockier little ponies. So height wise, it doesn't look too off when you have an adult riding them.
Yeah, I was looking at the ponies, and this is the Edinburgh University Exmoor pony trekking that they do. And you're taken around by like college students who are interested in the breed. And I think they said 150 was the weight limit. But when I was looking at the pictures, these are all like adults riding them, and they don't look ridiculous on them at all.
They don't, because they are just like a little bit stockier, which I mean, if you compare them to like a Morgan of the same height, because they're, much more narrow chested and much more narrow in their build, you look a lot larger on them than you would on an Exmoor.
Kind of like the Icelandic ponies is what I'm thinking of,
yes.
Kind of similar to that. Yeah. Because nobody looks too big on those. Now, probably Chad, your husband, would not be able to ride. His feet would hit the ground.
Well, don't worry, he wouldn't want to anyway, so it's fine.
That's funny. So, why'd you buy an Exmoor in the first place?
You know what? I didn't specifically pick him for his breed. I picked him because he was just a spunky little pony. I was actually taking some dressage lessons at this barn over in the Syracuse area, and they had put me on him, and I just fell in love with him. So they were cutting their program a little bit, and I was one of his main riders, so they asked me if I was interested, and I loved his personality. He, is super friendly, but he's got that little extra spunk, a little naughty, and I like a little predictably naughty in my ponies, and I
own a Hackney, I get that.
But that is not something you would think would be for sale at a dressage barn is an Exmoor. Like, that's not very common.
you wouldn't think it. So they actually were really good friends with, the story on how they had gotten him is they were really good friends with his breeders, the woman who bred him, and she had passed away in a car accident. And her husband knew that they were friends and that they did a lesson program with kids. And so he ended up giving the laddie, because he just wanted that laddie to go to a home that he knew and thought it would be good. So he gave riding lessons to tons of kids. He was known a little bit of a naughtier pony, but as he's matured in his age, he is now one of the best ones we have at our program. And we do the therapy. He does Girl Scout lessons when they come to earn their badges.
I'll put a picture of him in the
pony camp
show notes. This is a cute pony. This is really a cute pony. I'm a pony guy, so I love ponies. Yeah. So I guess they're hard to find. There probably aren't a lot for sale, are there?
There are not. The last time I looked, there was a study done by a college that said that there's only about 40 of them in all of North America.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. I thought there would be more than that.
Yeah, there's tons if you go over to England, but not so much over on this side of the pond.
Okay, Jamie, you got to go do this ride in Scotland when you're there.
I obviously do, and I need to bring a couple back, so that's going to have to happen.
We need to repopulate. Well, this is fantastic. Where can people find your center and what you do?
So we are on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and we do different videos and reels and stuff several times a week. And Healing Hearts, we're a program dedicated to promoting physical and emotional wellness to those of all abilities. We're an all-inclusive riding center, and we have people work with all of our horses and our mini donkey.
And that's up in the Finger Lakes region, right?
That is up in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And it's healinghearts, HARTS.com is the website. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us. We appreciate it, and have fun with the little pony.
Thank you so much.
State Line Tack's huge Ariat sale is coming your way. That's right.
No.
We're talking the biggest savings you've ever seen on your favorite Ariat gear. State Line Tack has deals on Ariat boots, from classic ropers to stylish Western performers. Ariat, you don't realize how many boots Ariat has till you go to WESA in Dallas, to the trade show, and they have their boots set up there. They must have 1,000 different brand styles of boots, because they also sell to mainstream retailers where they, sell the, their cowboy boots, but they're not like real ones. And so, it's just crazy. If you need some new denim, they got Ariat jeans for every rider, from the arena to the trail. And don't forget the tops. Stock up on Ariat shirts, jackets, and more, all at prices that'll make you shout. This is an Ariat sale you've been waiting for. Think about it. Top quality Ariat apparel and footwear without breaking the bank. Don't miss this stampede of savings. Head down to State Line Tack or visit online at statelinetack.com. Also, don't forget the coupon code HRN. Get 30% off any order of $129 or more. That doesn't take long with Ariat. Enter the coupon code HRN at checkout. Please note, some products are not eligible for additional discounts because they're already on mega sale, or there's manufacturer restrictions, and that will be noted in your shopping cart. Just put it in. It'll tell you which ones get the discount. So this Horse Health Report is brought to you by Daily Dose Equine, non-GMO core nutrition for horses and ponies of all ages. And returning with us from Pennsylvania is Dr. Janice Holland, answering some listener questions.
Dr. Holland has been kind enough to answer some listener questions, so we're going to go through a couple of them. First off, good morning, Dr. Holland.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. I guess, remind everybody where in the world you are.
Yeah, so I am currently working at Wilson College in Chambersburg, PA. I'm the director of the Equine Studies program here.
Fantastic. Well, we submitted a bunch of questions to our auditors, like a ask the vet kind of thing. And we ready to just fire away here?
Sure.
Okay, well, Amy asked a question, and this is one that I deal with as well, which is, what is the best way to combat spring allergies and horses with sensitive skin?
That is an excellent question, and this is definitely the time of year that we start seeing some problems with this. Probably the first thing to figure out, if we can, is what is actually causing the allergy. So, is it the presence of the little no-see-um midges that start biting on our horses in the spring, or is it something like pollen or something else kind of in the horse's environment? And that is usually going to require you investigating and kind of the idea of you take everything away and then slowly introduce and see what causes issues. And your veterinarian can also sometimes help you kind of determine what is causing the issue. As far as...
Well, Dr. Holland, before we go on for that, I
Yes,
just went
sir.
to the allergist and had the 1,000 needles stuck in my back. They don't do that with horses, I assume.
Not normally. They try and...
Okay.
Yeah, they can, like, if it becomes a real big question, they can do that. But yeah, they usually try and not do that to horses.
Okay.
They would probably love it. It would be so fun to stick your horse with like 600 needles. It'd be so fun.
Oh yeah. They all love needles so much.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So where were we? Oh,
So one of the things that issues that I've had is kind of like a spring cough. And one of the things, and I live in Oklahoma, and the wind is just insane and the dust is insane.
Right.
And I have one horse in particular that coughs a lot in the spring. And one of the things my veterinarian said was to give, basic allergy medicine you buy at Costco.
yes, yeah, and your veterinarian might just tell you to do that as kind of your less expensive way to deal with it. But definitely you would want your veterinarian to give you that recommendation, not just start pulling things off the shelf.
You don't even, I just don't go buy Zyrtec without talking to my vet first? Come on.
No, yeah,
That is what my vet recommended for my pony he gets itchy and just gets kind of miserable with the skin,
Right.
with the sensitive skin. And we use Zyrtec, and they tell you how much to give. The vet will tell you that, but it works.
Yeah.
It works really well for him, actually.
Right. Yeah, and it can. I mean, and it's funny, like animals. I had a dog who he ended up on the kind of the Allegra, the off-brand Allegra, to deal with allergies. So, yeah, amazing what we can do with our animals.
There's no real easy way to figure out what they're allergic to, is there?
There really isn't. Again, it sort of gets into that, like if you've tried a new shampoo on your horse for the spring and he breaks out, it's probably the shampoo. If you are in an area with a lot of pollen and it happens after you start seeing all the lovely yellow dust everywhere, then you could probably assume it's a pollen allergy. So, but it's hard because we keep our horses outside. It's hard to keep them in a dust-free environment like you're dealing with in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
to kind of keep them out of some of that. So yeah, it's really, in some ways I think it's a lot more about treatment than prevention, unless you figure out the perfect way to get them out of the environment.
Well, I do have a hot tip for those. You were talking about the no-see-ums. I have a senior horse who get like on his belly, he gets that, that circle sore on his belly, the lowest spot of their belly. And what I have found, and not currently a sponsor, but the Equiderma wound ointment, if I put that on it, it keeps the bugs off as well. I don't know what voodoo magic it is, but it heals it and keeps the bugs off it. So every day I keep it in the refrigerator in my barn. I just slather its big thing on the thing in the belly and rub it up, and it keeps the bugs off his belly. And it's gooey enough where it doesn't just like disappear,
Yeah. So, and I would say, again, not to endorse a specific product, but when I had horses that had that, I used SWAT because it has some of the antiseptic properties and sticks on forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that worked for me. Oh, I did think Amy had another part to her question. Horses with sensitive skin.
Yeah. Which I think we.
So I know some things from a nutrition standpoint that people have found can work really well and help horses with sensitivities is anything that's higher in like the omega-3 fatty acids. So any of the fish oil products, flaxseed, chia seed, any of those might, because they kind of actually work as an anti-inflammatory internally, so they can kind of help work from the inside out as well.
We have
I love that.
We have a friend who's Dr. Wendy, who's also a veterinarian and a traditional Chinese medicine master, and she can't say enough good things about flaxseed. I mean, you basically put flaxseed in everything.
Chia seed too. Yeah. So I've got a horse on EPM treatment, and one of the things she recommended was feed chia seeds with his food while he's going through treatment, and the vitamin E and all of that helps it from the inside out. So it is as a magical thing. So yeah, treat him from the inside out too. But Jen had a question too, and then her question, and I know she's been dealing with this for quite some time, hoof issues on one of her thoroughbreds. And it's, how can you tell when Thrush is really gone? Obviously, she has a post-traumatic stress about Thrush.
Right.
We all do.
How can you tell when it's really gone? She said, I don't smell it, and the frog is dry, but the central sulcus is still very deep. So how do you know when you can stop treating it?
Well, again, an excellent question. And of course, also a great time of year to be dealing with that we're running into the rainy season. So I guess, again, kind of the first thing to think about is, in your environment, what are you doing to try and prevent it from happening? So, definitely picking your horse's feet every day and really looking at them thoroughly, but not getting too aggressive with the hoof pick where you actually wound the sulci around the frog and then the central sulci, because that just opens the horse up to the bacteria and fungus that cause the issue. And so, and then really, I think she's doing the right thing to kind of figure out how to determine if he doesn't have it anymore. And that really is, if you see any of the black discharge that we associate with the breakdown, that indicates it's still active. If you have any of the odor, and as long as you're not seeing the black discharge and the rotten odor, you can feel pretty confident that it's cured. She might want to think about, if her horse is really susceptible to it, is you can find kind of some, I don't know if I say natural, but non-medicated options to help keep everything dry. So again, thinking about like kind of folk remedies. I have friends who swear by like Listerine spray because, it does such a good job in the mouth that it can help combat some of the issues and keep the area dry.
I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a crazy, it's kind of one of those old-timey things that works. And it might be, I also know some people who will, they just kind of like once a week just do a, whatever their choice, Threshbuster, Copper Tox, anything like those, and just kind of, during the rainy season, every week or every 2 weeks, just put a preventative dose in there just to fight it off. But yeah, really, if you don't have odor and you don't have black cuck, you're probably, that's very scientific, black cuck.
Do you? We know what that is. It's fine. Now, I worked for a veterinarian when I was in Georgia, and because it was a big problem in the muddy season there in the spring.
Yeah.
And what he would do, that like sulcus where the heel is really pinched, that little heel bulb goes really, really deep. And what he would do is he would take, and I'll go with basically like a Listerine type thing, and he would soak a 4x4 in it and then push it down in that like the frog in between where there's like really deep heel bulbs, and you push it in there and eventually it just falls out when the horse is walking around, but it really gets it deep in there. And I remember being horrified that he did that, but apparently
I'm kind of grossed out right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, some of those old time remedies work really well.
Yeah,
maybe consult your veterinarian and don't listen to our particular.
Oh, for sure. Look, we should preface this with either you have to call Dr. Holland out to your house or you need to call your own vet out.
Don't go shoving 2x4s up your horse's foot.
It wasn't a 2x4, it was a 4x4 gauze, Glenn. Jesus. All right, moving on. Laureen, her final question that we're going to get to today is, she said, and this is something, just plagues everybody. My horse had summer sores in 2 spots on his face last summer. I heard that it can recur every year. What is the best way to prevent this? Summer sores. Oh, I lived in Arizona.
So gross.
The worst.
Oh, they are so gross. They are so gross. So I guess the first thing to keep in mind with summer sores and their recurrence, it is because there is a stomach worm or a couple stomach worms, and when the horses defecate, they release some of these eggs, and then the little larvae come out of the eggs. And what causes these summer sores is those larvae get on the horse's face, usually transferred by a fly, like lovely house flies and stable flies. And the larvae migrate into areas that are moist. So like around the horse's eyes, into, if they have any type of a cut, they migrate into that. And they end up, it's kind of like a dead end spot, because what those larvae really want to do is get to the horse's mouth and get swallowed and get back into the stomach to complete their life cycle. So this really becomes a lot related to fly prevention and internal parasite prevention. Part of why they come back is that during the winter months, they'll come back. You may not actually have the summer sore resolved. So it heals up. It looks a little better in the winter, and then in the spring, it can open up again. So what you're really looking at is, again, working with your veterinarian. If you have the open wounds, they are probably going to have some ideas on how to treat those open wounds. And then you're going to come back in and work with any of your dewormers, your ivermectins, moxidectin type dewormers, that can help kill off the flies or kill off the stomach worms, and then do what you can to control the flies.
So basically, you've got to get your pastures cleaned, maybe get some fly predators. Hello, that is a fantastic option. Also, the summer sores that we've seen before too, they're basically botfly eggs. So when you see those botfly eggs on your horse's legs, I mean, I am like a crazy person about scraping those things off. Good Lord, get those things out of here.
They are, like anything. Like I'm usually attacking them with like those little rough kind of pumice bricks and the botfly knives, and I'm trying everything to get those off my horse.
Yeah, somebody told me, excuse me, one time to go to the dollar store and get some razors, and you just kind of scrape down the hair to get them off, and that works great for 2 passes, and then it's clogged up. So it wasn't very financially beneficial. It failed. I always do. I try all sorts of ridiculous remedies, but I find that the botfly knives and those slick and easy bricks, those really help too. Yeah.
All right. So we've had home remedies for the last 2. What's the home remedy for a summer sore? Is it like Preparation H or what? I mean, seems like the only thing we haven't talked about today.
I have to admit, I haven't really heard of good home remedies. The closest to that is some veterinarians might actually tell you to put dewormer on the sore to try and.
We've had a veterinarian on the show that said that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't do what we say here. Just talk to your own veterinarian. All of a sudden, Glenn's got hemorrhoid cream going in your horse's open sores. Jesus,
hey, has anybody tried it? It could be the miracle cure.
Okay, don't try that.
That's so funny. But,
well, Dr. Holland, this is great because these are the things that people are dealing with present time. So we really appreciate you taking your time and coming on and answering this. I hope we can do this more often. I think it's fantastic.
I hope so too. I really enjoy it. So
we got to let her teach the students occasionally, though. I mean,
they
keep coming to class, and she's not showing up because she's talking to us.
No, Dr. Holland, I will call you tomorrow. Thank you.
This is just her way of getting out of teaching. It's like, I don't want to see those kids again.
Right. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, no, they're getting a kick out of this. They're like, oh, we're going to listen to you. I'm like, yes, you are more than welcome to listen.
Oh, well, don't forget the hemorrhoid cream then, kids.
Come on, children. Your professor said it.
Oh, my gosh.
She's never coming back. Thanks, Dr. Holland.
Hey, you guys are so welcome.
Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Hanging out here with the mad scientist who developed daily dose equine horse feed formulas, Janet Geyer. And you might wonder, whenever I get my horse feed delivered to my door in Maryland or Texas or California or Missouri, am I getting the same horse feed? And the answer is?
The answer is that it is always the same formula, always the same horse feed. We don't change ingredients. We are a fixed formula feed mill.
As horse owners, we spend a lot of time on the road. Let US Rider help keep you covered. Our equestrian motor plan offers fast, reliable, nationwide service from our highly trained roadside assistance team. 24/7 coverage for both you and your horse. Membership includes horse trailer servicing, towing, flat tire repair, even on dual wheels, battery assistance, and lockout service on any vehicle in your plan. We also have your equine companions covered with referrals for emergency vet services, farrier referrals, and emergency stabling assistance. Get peace of mind on the road for you and your horse. Join US Rider today.
Time to learn why some days you're embarrassed to be part of the human race. In Jamie's Weird News.
Yes, this is the time of the week that I read the stories that you send me. If you're ever just looking through the news and you're like, wow, that's really weird, send it to me, Jamie. Actually, not that one. Send it to weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com. We got a fancy email for it and everything for you to send your weird news stories. And this week, Contributions were made by Shelley, Katie, Delia, Laureen, Jamo, Julie, Glenn, and Debbie. And I want to thank you all for sending me your weird news stories. And we're going to go all over the country with a special focus on transportation today. Okay, there's a Pennsylvania man, and one of my favorite airports in the whole wide world is Newark. Not really at all. That is just
Newark
one
isn't
of the
anybody's
worst places.
favorite anything.
No. And so Newark Airport, there's a guy, a Pennsylvania man that is trying to go through security, and he walks into the body scanner, and you put your hands up, and they're like, it like scans him, and they're like, sir, can you step over here? There's something in your pants. And the TSA pulls him to the side, and they're like, sir, there's something in your groin. There's something that's turning up. We don't understand. Would you like to take a guess what was shoved down his pants, Glenn?
I'm guessing it's nothing simple as cocaine.
That would be too simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they pull him off to the side, and when questioned further, the man reached into his pants and pulled out a turtle.
Because everybody keeps the turtle in their pants.
Why wouldn't you have a turtle in your pants? I mean, when do you think you're going to get away with that? The man
why?
but why? Like, why do you need to carry a box turtle, a red-eared slider turtle, onto an airplane?
Biting grip is really, really strong. They bite really hard.
I would imagine that he had him wrapped in a towel. So
that's good.
It was going to be fine. Yeah, so he had this red ear slider turtle wrapped in a towel shoved down the front of his pants. And the TSA went on to say, we have seen travelers try to conceal knives and other weapons on their person, in their shoes, and in their luggage. However, I believe this is the first time we've ever come across somebody who was concealing a live turtle down the front of his pants.
An attack turtle in the pants.
The turtle was confiscated.
Did
and
it say
he missed
why
his
he
plane.
was, harboring a turtle in his pants?
The last sentence is, the incident remains under investigation, and it wasn't clear if the man would face charges or penalties, but he did miss his flight.
Turtle did too.
Yep.
He was too cheap to buy him a seat.
I know. Let's keep in the theme with the airplane thing. Okay, so there's a flight was going from Savannah to Miami. Okay, it's Monday night. I don't think I need to mention the airline, but it was operated by Envoy Air. And on this flight to Miami from Savannah, there was only 8 passengers and 5 crew members on board. Just 8 passengers. But as they take off, a flight attendant observed a passenger, identified as 31-year-old Delang Austin, in what, quote, appeared to be a fit of epilepsy. So flight attendants obviously rushed over. And at first I was like, I shouldn't tell this story because like this guy's like getting sick. Well, apparently when they approached him like, sir, are you okay? He threw his hands on the top of the chair and like donkey kicked one of the flight attendants, quote, sending them across the aisle, across the row of seats and into the far side window. Okay. Obviously,
oops,
he's losing his mind. The filing says that he continued to increase in agitation, punching and kicking the passenger seat in front of him. There's a picture of the passenger seat, which is like supposed to be straight up. It is folded down. Seats don't do that. So he lost his mind. At this point, the pilots are like, we got to turn around. So they loop back around and they're like, hey, we're returning to Savannah because of an unruly passenger. Apparently he calmed down. He was like, I'll be good. I'll be good. But too late. They return to Savannah, and before they land and they get all the way up to the terminal, and before the boarding door was open, he stormed the front of the plane, attacking another flight attendant. 3 passengers had to jump on this idiot. They hauled him to the ground upside down, and then he had to be taken to the hospital because he had, quote, ingested his rosary beads. Now, all of this being said, this crazy
I'm
guy.
Catholic. I don't think you're supposed to eat them.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. But here's why he did that, Glenn, because he was traveling with his sister. Okay.
Lucky her.
And yeah, but okay. So the FBI takes her aside and And they're like, I'm sorry, why did your brother do all that? And here's her quote. Okay. She told the FBI agent that he had told her to pray, quote, Satan's disciples had followed them onto the plane and the Legion did not want them to make it to their final destination. So he was possessed by the devil. So obviously he has to swallow his rosary beads.
Which, by the way, have to come out eventually. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was taken to the hospital as they were waiting for things to pass. Yeah, American Eagle Flight 4162, operated by Envoy with service to Savannah to Miami. Return to Savannah due to a disruptive.
Are we getting a lot more of these just bad plane stories now than we ever have?
I mean, my husband, bless him, he'll come home and he kind of gives me like a little bit. But yeah, he says probably 1 out of every 3 flights, there's some sort of crazy thing happening. Which just makes you not want to fly. Like,
does it make him happy he's locked into the cockpit?
Oh, no. The captain has to handle it.
Does he go out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they will radio up to him and be like, what do you want to do, Cap? So the captain is the one that makes all the decisions to turn around or to divert or emergency land somewhere. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And sometimes they handle it, and sometimes they have to make other stuff happen. So 1 out of every 3 doesn't divert, but 1 out of every 3 seems to have some story. Like he'll like, if their flight is like 20 minutes late due to weather, he will stand once they land, he'll walk out and he thanks everybody for coming. And he said probably if there's like a 20-minute delay, somebody will yell at him as they're leaving the plane. And he's like, I don't control the weather. Like, you're welcome.
I can't tell the lightning where to strike.
It's pretty. He was like, yeah, exactly. Like, he's like, they have strict rules in place for people's safety. And he's like, yeah, people yell at me all the time, but there's other people that thank him. So
like taking off of the winds you guys have now and landing in those winds, it must be fun.
Oh, they'll cancel all the flights today.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
That's
all
craziness.
We're going to stay in the South this time. We're going to go to Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee. So there's a truck stop at Highway 138 in Denmark. And these 4 boys came in to the gas station and they robbed them. They took $400 worth of, are you ready? Took $400 worth of CBD oil. How did they rob them, you ask?
Yeah, how did they rob them?
Okay. Well, there's surveillance footage and there's 4 guys and they walked up to the counter and they were holding out their weapon. All 4 of them had their own weapon. What was the weapon? Snakes. They held up the gas station with pythons.
Well, I got to tell you, that would get my attention.
It's a python. It's not going to strike you and kill. It's not even poisonous.
I'm not looking that close to see what kind of snake it is. I'm saying take whatever you want. I'm out. Yeah, you don't pay me enough for this. That's what
no, exactly. Take whatever you want. I make like $7 an hour. So,
and do they realize CBD oil is not the same as marijuana? Do they?
I don't know. I mean, they're not the smartest of boys. I can see their pictures, and they're dressed all in black with black hoodies on and black beanies.
So they caught him. Did they catch him?
So apparently the Indian gentleman who was running the gas station, his last name is Raval. His name is Mayor Raval. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. He said he was working the store at the time and he was afraid of the snakes. He said they were just waving them around and putting them on the counter and they kept bringing in different snakes and they grabbed the CBD oil. And then he said that they wanted to take more than that, but there were too many customers around. So they turned around and they ran out to their car and they had 2 women in the front seat waiting.
A lot of people in this car.
Yeah, and snakes. And snakes. And they did get away. The men with pythons were with 2 females driving a small 4-door sedan with bungee cords holding the trunk down. So y'all just be on the lookout in Memphis for somebody driving a little blue black car with bungee cords on the back of hold the trunk down.
Well, now I see why Memphis is always rated as one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in America. It's because of these guys with the snakes. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, when we drove through there a couple months ago when we were driving back from Tennessee, we were like, let's get gas before Memphis and we will just drive. Just go.
Nashville's getting to be the same way now. Nashville's getting to be bad.
Really?
Yeah, Nashville's bad for crime right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Sorry, Nashville.
I love where we're going. Guess where we're going, Glenn?
I have no idea. Florida.
More specifically, Ocala. That's right, baby.
Oh, we are.
Ocala, Florida. Okay. Nothing about this says drugs or drinking, but I'm going to let you just make your own assumption as to what happened. Okay, so it's 1:30 in the morning. 56-year-old man from Ocala was driving northbound on I-75, 1:20 a.m. Okay, he is just driving his dump truck down the road. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, this is, by the way, is the second time this has happened.
No, are you serious?
They had to close the highway because the first time. Yeah, go ahead.
So he's just driving his dump truck down the road at 1:00 in the morning. What could possibly go wrong? All of a sudden he goes underneath an overpass and hears like a loud noise. And he stops the car. But he forgot to put his dump bed down.
How do people forget that? Because it's got to make a lot of noise when it's up with wind and all that.
There's got to be like a beeping or something that happens. Yeah. So he drives underneath the overpass and the dump bed shears off and gets stuck under the overpass while the truck continued forward. And eventually he stopped the car like, what the hell was that? Yeah. And so they had to close down the highway all night. They did not open I-75 until 8:15 the next morning.
And I-75 and a normal accident get backed up for 30 miles. It's just...
I can't imagine.
So the last time it happened, it was during the day and the dump truck driver forgot his bed up, hit the bridge that's before the land bridge. And everybody knows that when it's been on 75, it's made for horses to cross. So they have all kinds of trees and stuff on it. And they had to replace the bridge because he took it out.
Oh my God. I'm sure that's what took so long too, is they have to probably check the integrity of the overpass as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't fall on somebody. Dumbass.
I'm sure that at 1:20 in the morning when you're driving around a dump truck, I'm sure you haven't been drinking.
No.
No. It's fine.
There's not a bottle of Jack Daniels on the seat.
If anybody does know a dump truck driver or drives a dump truck, if you could please, there's got to be an alarm system. Like
apparently
I leave my trunk open and it screams at me.
Apparently there is not, but I'm thinking you're doing 65 down the highway with the dumper up. It's got to make some noise and have like a little resistance. I mean,
a little drag. Like, why is this thing so slow?
But you're right. I think an alarm would be appropriate. I think let's do that.
Probably the manufacturers were like, obviously we don't need an alarm because nobody would be dumb enough to drive down the freeway I-75 with their dump bed up.
All right. Well, if you want to send your weird news, send it to weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com. Thank you to everybody that sent it in today. Tomorrow, we are going to have the Equine Affair episode. And then, actually, Equine Affairs next month. We're going to be heading to Ohio for that. I'll be heading to Ohio for that. And Ashley's going this year, too. So we're both going to be there. We're having a little meetup on the Friday night. If you're interested in that, drop me an email at glenn@horseradionetwork.com. I'll send you the details if you want to join us at Equine Affair. And hang on, everybody. We're going to give the post show to everybody today. So whether you're an auditor or not, you get the post show. And we're going to hear Shelby's story of when she was growing up, because she has a story. That's all coming up in the post show. So hang on, everybody.
Spay, neuter, gals, everybody. Put your dump bed down. Keep your snakes away. Don't put turtles down your pants. You've learned so much from me.
Yes.
Time for the Auditor Post Show. We want to remind you that this is not always safe for work or the kiddos. Thanks for hanging around for our nonsense.
If you're going to get arrested for armed robbery, because I think snakes would be counted as deadly weapons, why aren't you stealing something good?
I want to be like, what did you have? Like some like arthritis you had to address? Like,
go rob a bank or something. If you're going to go to jail
you know,
anyway.
they were smoking. They're like, I don't feel anything. Do you feel anything? No, I don't feel anything, but my joints feel great. Look, I can touch my toes.
I don't understand. All right, this is why we're not cut out to be criminals.
Now, those of you listening to the post show for the first time, this is the nonsense that we do. We just talk. But this time we actually had something kind of interesting to talk about to Shelby and about her first new horses. And we try to have auditors on the post show once a week just so we can kind of get to know them. And this situation, we just thought, well, we need to get to know this.
Shelby, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Yay!
Good morning.
Sorry, we were a little late. We got rambling on. So
can I just tell you right now that I am giving you like the biggest friend hug from, I don't know where you are, but I'm hugging you because my heart just absolutely broke for you in this story.
Oh, thank you.
Shelby, where are you located?
Southern Michigan.
Okay. All right. You're one of our many, many, many Michigan listeners.
Yeah, I'm like a quarter mile from Indiana.
Okay, cool. Well, you posted this in the auditor room the other day, and I want you to tell this story because what it was several weeks ago, Jamie talked about the fact that her dad made her do other sports in addition to horse sports. And in order to keep the horse, she had to do other sports.
Yes, I had to do basketball as somebody who's 5'2". It was really sensible. And then my mom made me play tennis. So they each got to pick a sport that I had to do in order to keep my horse.
And then you wrote on the auditor page and talked about what you had to do, and what you had to do we have never seen before in 3,600 episodes. So talk to us about your first horse and how that came about.
Okay, so like a normal horse girl, you just come out of the womb dreaming of ponies. So every birthday and every holiday, I just would beg and cry and say, please, can we have a pony? And we lived on a farm, but my dad is a car guy. So our barns were full of like muscle cars and car parts. And I was like, we have a farm. We can have a pony. And so I never got a pony as a gift all growing up. And so I was about 17 when I got my license, and I asked for a truck. And my dad was like, good, great. Anything that's not a pony. So I got a truck. He didn't know at the time, though, it was like a long game plan here. Because I got a job. Girl. I got a job. And then I was buying T-posts and rolls of fencing. Because I was going to get pony myself. I was going to build my own fence. And I cleared a section of the barn out in the corner that nobody was using. And I put up T-post. It wasn't a good fence, I'm going to tell you that. It probably wasn't safe for said pony, but I was 17 and working on a lifelong dream at 17. So I built this fence, and then...
Didn't he notice you doing this on the farm?
He did. Yeah, he did. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm going to have my own pony. And he says, well, that's never going to happen. You don't have a trailer. You don't have hay. Like, how are you going to pay for it? So I knew that my uncle had cows, so I called him and I was like, hey, I know you make your own hay. If I get a pony, can I get hay from you? And he said, that's fine. You help me bale hay, you can have as much as you want for your pony. So I had my hay lined up. And then I went on Facebook. This is when animal sales were still available on Facebook. I'm probably part of the problem why they took them down, because kids were buying animals. So I found a pony about 4 hours north of me. And I found multiple ponies, but I had to use the one that would deliver to me. Oh, God. So I was sick one morning conveniently, and I had to stay home from school. And it happened to also line up with the day the woman was available to deliver said pony. So I was at home sick. And the lady delivered the pony before my parents came home from work. And then I got a stern talking to. And if any of the listeners live around like US 12, the highway, there's a garage sale weekend every August, I think. That it's the whole US 12, like multiple states all the way
like
down.
the longest one in the world or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad made me put my pony out for sale during that weekend.
During the
with a
yard
sign by the
sale?
road. Yeah, during the yard sale.
Hold on. let me just break this down. You're not 9.
Yeah.
You're 17. I thought this happened when you were like 6 or something. So you're 17 years old. You get a truck. You work your ass off to get a pony. And usually I swear during the post show, but we're making this available to everybody, so I can't. But you work your butt off to get this pony. You buy and spend all your money on T-posts and fencing. You live on a farm and you buy a pony sight unseen because they deliver. They bring you the pony. And I mean, I can see the deception part of you getting in trouble for that, but I cannot see them not celebrating your determination and how.
Oh, he did. Did you get to keep the money after you sold the pony at the yard sale?
I did get to keep the money
there you
after the pony sold, but I didn't stop there. That's not where it actually ended.
Hold on. How long did you have this pony?
I had her, I think it was only like 2 weeks before the yard, so I timed it poorly.
Boy, he was pissed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you cry and cry and cry?
Yeah, I did. But it just made me more determined. So, yeah. I've also, like, that wasn't the first animal I'd snuck home, so I didn't know.
Snakes, badgers,
well, I
foxes.
had a chinchilla in my bedroom for 3 months before they noticed.
Let's be honest, though. You were always a little bit of a rebel, weren't you?
Yeah, but I used to always tell them, at least it's not drugs. I'm not drinking. It's not drugs. I could be worse.
I remember my dad saying
that's what
to
the kids
me,
who get in trouble say.
No, but see, like, I had my best friend turned to drugs and ended up in a halfway house. And I was like, at least I'm not her. I'm like, I just want to do this. And then I could be doing drugs. Oh my God, you're me. Like, you're me. You're me.
Yeah.
So did you sell the pony at the yard sale?
She didn't sell like at the yard sale, but somebody had taken the phone number. And then eventually it was somebody from like an outcome of that.
This is the saddest story. Okay, tell us what happened next, because it even gets better.
So, I was not giving up that easily. So I put on Facebook again, which maybe children shouldn't be on Facebook. But I was looking for my area if anyone had like boarding space or an open stall or pasture board even. And an older woman responded to me. She used to own a ranch and then her husband died. So she was there by herself. And she says, hey, if you help me clean the barn, I will let you like self-board for $50 a month. And I was like, bingo, perfect. Got it. We can do this. Yep. So I did that and I boarded a pony there.
So you bought another pony?
I did. And I put it and they didn't know.
So your parents didn't know you were doing this. How long till they found out you were boarding a horse?
Till I moved out.
How long? A couple years?
It was 2 or 3 years when I moved out, and then I moved my ponies. I had multiple at this point when I moved. I was boarding in 2 locations with 3 ponies without them knowing.
Oh my God.
So where did they think you were?
Yeah.
I was at work. I would leave early in the morning to do my self-board chores in the morning, and then after work I would go to the barn. So they just thought I was at work longer than I was actually at work.
God, you must be good at deception. You should have been a spy, because you're good.
I wasn't even very sneaky. Like, you always say that horse girls have hay in the car and I did all the time, and they never said anything. So I don't know if they like knew or what was going on, or they just weren't paying attention. I don't know exactly how I got away with it.
How did they feel later in life about you still having horses?
I need to ask this first. Okay, what currently, and if they're still around, what is your current relationship with your parents?
Not very close.
Big surprise.
Like,
are they both still around?
Yeah, we talk in like Christmas, birthdays. type of situations, but
Do they
not a daily
have they
thing.
accepted the horse thing, or that's still a
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have one of the original 3 that I boarded secretly.
Can I ask, you started this at 17. You started your life of deception at 17. How old are you now?
I'm 30.
You're 30. So, Dad, it's not a phase. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you married now?
Yeah, I am. I moved in with my husband, and then actually when we started dating, he's like, well, I don't know if I like horses. And I said, no, you don't understand. I've been working my life up to this point. This is a deal breaker.
Yeah, for you especially.
Hell yeah. Oh, you don't like horses? Well, here's my butt, and you can kiss it on your way. And he's like, whoa. I do like your butt, and I like horses.
Yeah, he asked me to move in, and I was like, listen, the fence needs to be built before I move over. So that is your motivation right there.
Yeah, and I can do it with or without you because I have experience.
Yeah. Clearly you can.
Shelby, well, let me talk to Jamie for a second. Hold on, Shelby.
Okay.
I guarantee
So I'm like experiencing trauma right now. Hearing this
but
story.
I guarantee you she has a secret credit card and checking account from her husband where she has other animals that he doesn't know about.
I don't know, because I feel like when you have a life like that, where you just like, you're so independent, and you have to live this kind of like second life. I would think that either you're right, or she is just tired of being like that. Like at some point you go, you take me as I am, or you got to go. So which one is it?
It's the second one. Like
Okay.
it was, this is who I am. This is what we're doing.
What do you do for a living now, by the way?
She trains ponies.
I'm a stay-at-home mom for the most part, but I also clean like rental, like resort houses.
Oh, like
basically.
Airbnb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you must have some stories from doing that too.
Yeah.
Let's focus on this. Hold on. Okay.
I want to hear about some of the
get
trashed houses.
Don't get off track. So do you have kids?
Yeah, I have 2.
Okay. Let's, as a mother who you suffered through this trauma. I mean, I thought it was bad for me. Like you win, the SHIT lottery. Okay. Because that is utter garbage. And I want to hug you and tell you you're okay. But what we do dealing with our parents can directly be different on how we deal with our own children. Like there's certain things that happened to me when I was growing up, and I anti-parent the way that my parents parented. Do you anti-parent, or do you find yourself saying some of the same things they said?
No, I'm a complete opposite. Like every time my kids are like, can we please have the same? I'm like, yes, let's get 3.
There's 85 cats in the house. There's 100 dogs.
We do have 5 dogs, actually. You're funny.
How did I know?
I get it though. Like you are like undoing the trauma response that was done to you by having no boundaries. And you know what? At some point it'll even out. But for now, F it. Just live it, girl. Just do you want that? We'll take 3.
Does your husband just roll his eyes? Does he roll his eyes now? He's at the point where
he's started to bring home his own animals. He's the chicken guy now.
He's a what?
So he's a chicken guy now. So we have all these chickens that he wanted. I'm not much of a poultry person, but he loves all the chickens. So we have a bunch of chickens now.
See, that makes sense because he had to have something you didn't like. That kind of makes sense, actually, psychologically. Because then he could say they're mine, as opposed to you just adopt them all and they become yours.
Yep.
Like Jennifer got these 2 outside cats who love me and barely pay attention to her, and that's kind of pissing her off. So I get it.
So do your kids like the horses and the ponies?
Yeah, we have 4. So they each have 1 and I have 2.
Oh, I love it. What a wonderful thing that turned out to happen. What a happy ending story. I'm sorry for the fact that you had to be so alone in your teenage years when you should have been able to share this. I feel a lot of that. Like I feel that deep down because I did a lot of it alone too. But at least I had financial assistance. Like, oh my God, you are a badass and I want to know you and I would like to be your best friend.
Yeah, maybe I have a 2-year-old gypsy, so maybe someday I will send him down to work with you because I am not like educated.
Is it black and white? Because she doesn't want it if it's black and white.
It doesn't matter. It's a gypsy. So I'm going to have to refer you to Mary Kitzmiller in Texas.
Jamie hasn't had good luck with gypsies.
He's Jamie's size. He's little. God. He's a mini gypsy. He'll only be like 12, 13 hands. So he's Jamie's size.
He is little.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's review the firsts we've had.
Let me give you my phone number. Ready at 555.
Let's review the firsts we've had in this particular interview. We've had a kid who bought a horse, brought it home, and then had to sell it at a yard sale. There's 2 firsts right there. And then we've had the third first is she had a horse at a boarding barn her parents didn't know about. So actually 3 horses. So there's another one. We've had a lot of firsts with you, and we've been doing this a long time.
Do your kids know about all this?
No, actually, but they're young.
Well,
so
okay.
They're 6 and 3.
Oh, they won't be listening to this then. Although, let's hope your parents don't get a hold of this recording.
Well, see, this is the reason I wanted to ask is if they were old enough to learn this, because I'm sorry, I'm getting like deep down, but one of my trauma responses was alcohol consumption as a child, like as a teenager. Did you turn towards that, or did you just like shake all that off and just work harder?
Nope, it was just animals. I brought home a puppy on my last day of senior year, too. I was home sick that day as well. It's just animals, not really alcohol or drugs.
Wow. You are my hero. You're like deceptive clean me.
I think actually I got to give you credit, Shelby. I think what you ended up doing was probably better than drugs or alcohol. So
absolutely.
I mean, in the long run, it might have actually cost you more this way, but it
might have.
You're psychologically better off. Or maybe
and
not.
You're healthier, and you take that though. What you do is you take that and you go, I'm gonna do it so different with my kids, and then you just flip the script and you raise them the way you wish you were raised. It's a thing. Yeah. Like it's and good for you because it's definitely healing for sure.
Well, I gotta. In that note, I'll read her last sentence she put in the auditor room. It's been really healing as an adult being able to buy ponies for my children and see the magic in them that was stolen from me.
Oh, gut punch.
I mean, there's the t-shirt right there.
Yeah, I actually teared up like coming to that realization. I came to that realization while I was typing that. I had never I don't know, sometimes when you're traumatized, you like push it out. And so now I was typing that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I'm doing.
And you got that for $3 a month, that therapy. So good for you.
No, I mean, that is like seriously traumatic, and bless your heart. And I'm so glad you were able to make changes, because that's like, I have a friend who in Arizona who she came home one day and her dad had sold her horse, and and he's gone, and she still to this day can't get over it. And so the fact that you have self-healed by kind of going the opposite direction, and she kind of did too, like she bought horses and she got full force into it when she could, what you did was you were like, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to heal myself by watching my children do it. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, Shelby, we appreciate you coming on. I know this wasn't easy for you to do, and I did warn her ahead of time that we were going to give this as a bonus to everybody, because your story, there's going to be people out there who relate to this story. I'm not quite sure that they'll have done all the things you did and got away with it, but they're going to relate to it.
Yeah, I'm just pissed that it's not like I was like 7 and I was like, I want a pony. You were 17. You like have a car and a job, and you want responsibility.
Yeah,
as a parent, I would be like, oh my God, we have a farm and you want to work hard for something and like earn it and take care of it. Hell yes, do that. And then, I'm so mad, but I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy how things turned out, and good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Shelby, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for doing that.
Yep. Anytime.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, now you know why I said we'll make this the free Auditor Post Show day, because we have never had a story like this in all the years.
My armpits are sweating.
I knew that's what also fired you up. And
mad.
Now, for people who are listening to Post Show for the first time, you can get this kind of quality entertainment. Now, it's not
Usually
always
with
this
swear
good.
words.
Yeah, with a lot of swear words. So if you don't
Usually
like
it's
swearing,
nonsense.
don't sign up to be an auditor. But if you too want to get this, for pretty much we do it almost every episode that Jamie and I are on, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We do miss some if we have obligations, but most of the time we do. And there's a lot of other things the auditors get as well, so, like therapy, apparently. So you can go to horseradionetwork.com, click on the auditor banner, and you too can join for as little as $3 a month. It's a donation, and part of that goes to the hosts, including Jamie, too, of the Horse Radio Network. They get that money back. We appreciate Shelby doing that. I know that probably wasn't easy for her, so thank you.
Oh, bless her heart. She had me until Gypsy.
Black and white Gypsy?
You had me until she wanted me to start her Gypsy.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Mary Kitzmiller would love to do it for you. You have to ship them all the way from Michigan to Texas, but that'll be fine.
It's only like 4 more hours. It's fine. 3 more hours, actually.
All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.